Imagine this. You wake up on a grey Monday in Berlin, make coffee, and glance at your banking app with that tiny jolt of pride. The number went up. You've been good with money, saving in the bank, dreaming of buying a house, doing everything the adults around you said was smart. But look closer. While you were sleeping, something invisible kept nibbling your money. Prices crept up. Rent ticked higher. Groceries cost more. That sweet number in your app. It buys less than it did last year. And that dream house. The one that was supposed to make you rich. It might lock you into decades of bills, repairs, and anxiety. Today, we're going to do the unthinkable. Challenge the 2 rules everyone repeats: save money in the bank and buy a house, and show how those rules can quietly make you poorer. If that stings a little, good. Money grows outside your comfort zone. Let's start with the supposedly safest place on earth, the bank. Picture Sophie in Berlin. She sets aside €200 every month into a savings account, paying her 0.5% interest. She feels safe. Responsible. Adult. Now picture inflation at 5%. That's like trying to fill a bucket while a small hole at the bottom leaks faster than you pour. You watch the water rise, but over time the level never actually reaches the top. That's your money in a low-interest savings account during high inflation. It looks calm. It feels safe. It's quietly drowning. Inflation is not a monster with a big growl, it's a polite pickpocket slipping €5 out of your wallet for every €100 you thought you had, year after year. The bank's thank you for saving interest is like a single raindrop trying to refill that bucket. Smells nice. Doesn't help. Now the holy grail, buying a house. In family dinners across Europe, this is the applause line. Luca, buy property. Alex, stop throwing money away on rent. Sophie, nothing is safer than a roof you own. But let's open the spreadsheet nobody wants to look at. Luca in Milan buys a €250,000 flat with a 30-year mortgage. Over those decades, he pays interest that could push the total paid toward €400,000 when you add insurance, property taxes, notary fees, agents, repairs, renovations, building fees, maybe even new windows when the old ones whistle in winter. He thinks he's investing. In reality, his monthly cash flow becomes a hostage. He can't easily move. He can't easily take a lower-paying dream job. He can't easily say yes to an opportunity in another city. He owns walls, and those walls own him. Meanwhile, Alex in London chooses to rent a modest place. Everyone calls him reckless. But he takes the money he would have spent on mortgage interest and invests it into broad, boring, beautiful index funds. 8% average annual returns do their slow magic. While Luca is repainting the hallway for the 3rd time, Alex's portfolio quietly doubles, and doubles again. One day the reckless renter has 6 figures in liquid assets, and the smart homeowner is still negotiating with a plumber about a leak behind the washing machine. Am I saying never buy a house? No. But I am saying this: a house is not automatically an investment. Sometimes it's a lifestyle purchase with a very expensive monthly bill attached to it. Sometimes it's a golden cage, pretty, shiny, and locked from the outside. You might love living there. You might build memories there. Wonderful. But don't confuse emotion with return. If you buy with clear eyes. Can this property cash flow if you had to rent it out? Can your budget survive a broken boiler, higher interest, and a surprise roof repair? If not, you're not investing, you're decorating a liability. Let's talk about what the experts actually recommend. They don't say do nothing. They say do something smarter. Put your money into assets that grow. Index funds tracking broad markets like the MSCI World or, yes, the S&P 500. Are they exciting? Not at all. Are they effective? Historically, very. Compound growth is the quiet superhero of wealth. It doesn't shout. It whispers, then one day it sings. Even small monthly amounts snowball over years. And for those with a taste for asymmetric upside, allocating a small slice to crypto like Bitcoin or Ethereum understand the rules of the game. It's volatile, it's risky, and that's why the position is small. A tiny bet can become meaningful if it works. If it doesn't, your life continues. That's called an asymmetric bet, limited downside, potentially massive upside. But let's put more skin on this. Imagine an evening in Paris. Two friends leave a cafe at Saint-Germain. Pierre says, "I'm saving in my bank because it's safe." Marta says, "I moved half my savings into a low-cost ETF." A year later, inflation runs hot. Pierre's safe cash buys fewer croissants and smaller rents. Marta's portfolio dipped, recovered, and climbed. She feels foolish some days, brilliant on others, but most importantly, she's in the game. Compounding only pays those who show up at the stadium. Now, a confession, it's not just math. It's psychology. We keep money in banks because it feels safe. We buy houses because it looks respectable. We fear doing something different because, well, what if we regret it? Status quo bias. Loss aversion. Confirmation bias. Our brains cling to the old story like a tourist with a map from 1997, arguing that the street should be here even when the city has grown around them. The world changed. Interest rates changed. Housing markets changed. Wage growth changed. But many people didn't change their behavior. Here's a simple exercise that changes everything. Track your money. I can hear the groans. Tracking. Sounds boring. Yes. And championship football teams also practice passing drills. Boring wins. When you track, you see the leaks, the lunches that became a habit, the subscriptions that never got cancelled, the microsplurges that taste sweet and cost dearly. The moment you can name where every euro goes is the moment you can tell it where to go next. Create 5 buckets: essentials, rent, food, utilities, transport, growth, investments and education, freedom, savings for goals, joy, fun money you spend guilt-free, and safety, emergency fund. Automate transfers the day after payday. You've just turned chaos into a system. Let's press on the emergency fund, because this one protects your future self from your present panic. Aim for 3 to 6 months of expenses in a flexible, higher yield account if available. Not 12 months. Not your entire life savings gathering dust. Just enough to survive a job loss, a medical surprise, a life-happened moment. After that, every spare euro becomes a worker you deploy into growth assets. Picture a small army of euro coins in smart little suits. Your job: promote as many as possible from waiting in a bank lobby to building in the field. And debt, let's be blunt, it's the loudest siren in your finances. Credit card at 20% April? That's a 5-alarm fire. There is no safe investment that beats a guaranteed 20% drain. Pay it down like your hair is on fire. Student loans at 4 to 6%. Create a plan. Not someday, now. Car loan with a cute monthly payment. Cute drains add up. High-interest debt is a treadmill that moves faster the more you run. Getting off it is not just math, it's an immediate relief for your nervous system. Let's ground this in people you recognize. Alex in London earns €2,400 after tax. Rent €1,100, transport €150, food €300, misc €200. That leaves €650. Old Alex saved €150 in the bank and drifted the rest on too many, it's just a tenner moments. New Alex sets €300 to index funds, €100 to a skill course, €50 to a small crypto position, €50 to emergency fund until it's full, and keeps €150 for joy. 6 months later his net worth curve bends upward. A year later he gets a better job thanks to the skill course. The portfolio compounds. The small crypto bet doubled then halved. He didn't panic. He learned to zoom out. He's not living a movie montage, he's living a system. Sophie in Berlin used to dream of buying a flat because her parents told her rent is throwing money away. She ran the numbers. The mortgage would crush her cash flow. She'd have no room for investing, no buffer for surprises. She decided to rent intentionally, negotiated her lease, and invested the difference. She launched a tiny side business selling digital planners in German and English, bringing in €250 a month. Not glamorous. Effective. Her friends mocked her for not owning. 2 years later she has €18,000 invested, €4,000 in an emergency fund, a business that pays her phone, and a calmer relationship with money. Pride didn't pay her bills. Numbers did. Luca in Milan loved the idea of a home. He also loved sleeping at night. He asked a hard question: if I buy this, will it pay me or will I pay it? He rented a little longer, learned about real estate as a business, and bought not a dream home but a small, boring rental with positive cash flow. He hired a property manager to save his sanity. The rent covered the mortgage and left €150 after expenses. Not a jackpot, an engine. Engines compound. Marta in Madrid had a pattern: January budgets, February chaos. She started a weekly money date on Sunday evenings. 15 minutes. Check accounts, move money, cancel junk, set a micro goal. She named her budget categories like a playlist: Future Freedom, Rent Beast, Joy Sparks. It sounds silly, but making money personal made it stick. She stopped feeling punished by a budget and started feeling powered by a plan. Let's talk about houses again, because this is where emotions run hottest. There are 3 honest reasons to buy a home. 1. The numbers work and you can rent it out for cash flow if life changes. 2. The lifestyle premium is worth the cost. You know it's not the best financial return, but it's the best life return for you. 3. You're planning to stay long enough to reduce transaction friction. Yes, buying and selling eat thousands in fees. If your reason isn't one of those, you might be negotiating with an imaginary audience. But what will people think? People won't pay your mortgage when the boiler breaks. People won't repair your roof. People won't transfer €1,500 into your account each month. People have opinions. You have bills. What about banks? Keep enough for bills, buffers, and short-term goals. Keep the rest working. Think of your bank account as a train station, not a retirement home. Money arrives. Money departs. Assets are the destinations. If your money naps in the station for years because it feels safe, it will wake up poorer and grumpy. We haven't even touched the oldest wealth builder: increasing income. You can only shrink expenses to zero. You can grow income to the sky. Upskill. Negotiate. Freelance. Package what you know into something sellable. Coach beginners in your craft. Design templates. Write guides. Edit short videos. Tutor English or coding. Run Saturday workshops at a cafe in Paris teaching Canva basics for small shop owners. An extra €200 a month invested for 10 years at 8% becomes about €36,000. An extra €500 a month. About €90,000. Money multiplies best when you feed it consistently. If you want a visual for compounding, imagine a metro map in Madrid. Each station is a month. You board with €300. The train moves, and at each station a few more passengers join your returns. If you stay on the train long enough, you arrive not at a single destination but at a network of possibilities. Get off too early because the carriage felt crowded for a minute, market dip, and you miss the lines that intersect later: recovery, new highs. Investing is a transport system. Patience is your ticket. Humor break, because money is serious and that's exactly why we need to laugh. Keeping all your cash in a bank is like hiring a lazy roommate who eats your food and pays you back in compliments. Buying a house you can't afford is like rescuing a very cute dragon. It looks great in photos, but it eats a lot, breathes fire on your budget, and you can't keep it in your pocket when you want to travel. Meanwhile, investing regularly is like watering a garden. Some weeks it rains, some weeks are dry, sometimes snails ruin a leaf, but the season still turns, the stems grow stronger, and one morning the whole place is green. Now, the most underrated superpower: liquidity. Cash on hand when markets dip is opportunity. Flexibility to move cities for a better job is opportunity. Being able to say yes to a partnership because you're not chained to a mortgage is opportunity. Wealth isn't just a number, it's how many meaningful options you can say yes to without asking permission. Let's run a quick comparison to keep the math honest. 2 friends, same city, same income. Anna buys a €300,000 home with €30,000 down. Monthly payment €1,400, plus €300 average maintenance and fees. Total €1,700. Leo rents for €1,200 and invests the €500 difference monthly into a low-cost ETF at 8% average annual return. After 10 years, Leo's investment pot is roughly €91,000, ignoring taxes and fees for simplicity. Anna has equity, yes, but subtract transaction costs, interest, and maintenance, and the net picture is often closer than the rent is throwing money away, crowd admits. Extend to 20 years, and compounding becomes ruthless. Leo's pot pushes toward €300,000. Anna may have similar home value growth, but she also had 2 new boilers, a roof repair, and special building assessments. The final answer depends on 1,000 variables. That's the point. It's not automatic. Run your numbers, not your neighbor's opinions. What about, but my parents did it? Your parents bought houses when multiples of income were lower, interest rates were different, and job mobility mattered less. They kept money in banks when deposit rates beat inflation. They lived in a world with different rules. Respect their wisdom. Update the playbook. Let's get ultra practical for the next 90 seconds of this voiceover, your step-by-step starter plan. Track every euro for 30 days. No judgment, just data. You can't steer what you can't see. Kill high-interest debt. That's your emergency. Snowball or avalanche method, pick one and sprint. Build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund in a flexible account. Enough to sleep at night, not enough to snooze your future. Automate investing the day after payday. Broad index fund, low fees. Consider a small asymmetric slice if you understand the risk. Schedule a weekly 15-minute money date. Move money. Cancel junk. Nudge goals forward. Tiny hinges swing big doors. Increase income by 1 clear notch in the next 90 days. 1 certificate. 1 freelance client. 1 tiny digital product. 1 salary negotiation. Pick one, ship it. Review your buy a house plan with a brutal spreadsheet. If it doesn't cash flow and you'll still be investing enough after buying, great. If not, press pause. Protect your attention. Unfollow the hype accounts that make you panic buy and doom sell. Invest with a plan, not with adrenaline. Let's lace all this with more street-level stories, the kind that slip into your mind when you're on the U-Bahn or queuing for coffee. Anya in Warsaw started with €50 a month into an ETF and felt silly. It won't matter, she thought. Then she got a small raise and upped it to €150. A freelance gig added €80. 3 years later she looked up and saw €9,000 in real, working money. Not life-changing yet, but life-bending. Elias in Athens taught weekend guitar classes in a park. He took the €120 he earned each week, invested €100, spent €20 on gyros with friends guilt-free. He created a flywheel, money he enjoyed making, money he enjoyed investing, and money he enjoyed spending. That balance is the point. You're not a spreadsheet with shoes, you're a person. The big trap is binary thinking. People here don't buy a house and assume never. They here don't keep cash in a bank and assume spend recklessly. No. The point is nuance. Keep enough cash to be safe, invest the rest to be free. Buy a house when the math and your life say yes, until then, rent without shame and build liquid wealth. The most expensive sentence in personal finance is "this is what everyone does." Before we close, one more image to carry with you. Imagine your money as a cast of characters in a European film. The lazy roommate, cash lounging in a bank, the beautiful but demanding diva, owner-occupied house, the quiet craftsman, index fund, who shows up every day and builds something you only notice when it's suddenly huge, the wild artist, crypto, who can create a masterpiece or burn the set, the coach, skill building, who makes everyone else better. Your job is not to fire the entire cast, it's to direct the movie. Give each character the right amount of screen time. Don't let the diva take over every scene. Don't let the lazy roommate eat the whole budget. Make the craftsman central. Let the artist appear briefly, with guardrails. Keep the coach in every act. Now, breathe. This isn't about shaming your past choices. It's about sharpening your next ones. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly on time to stop letting inflation tax your future, to stop letting opinions rent space in your head, and to start letting your money work while you sleep. Financial independence is not a lottery ticket, it's a language. And you can learn to speak it: one tracked euro, one automated transfer, one brave no to outdated advice at a time. So here's the heartbeat of it all. Every euro you earn is a seed. Plant it in a low-interest bank forever, and it shrivels. Bury it under the weight of a mortgage you can't afford, and it struggles to breathe. Plant it in a portfolio, in a skill, in a business, and watch it split, sprout, and multiply. Not overnight. Over seasons. You don't need perfect timing, you need consistent planting. You don't need permission, you need a plan. You don't need to win arguments at family dinners, you need to silently build a life where your money works harder than you do. If you felt something stir while listening, good. That's the part of you that knows comfort can be costly, and courage compounds. Keep enough cash to sleep. Invest enough to wake up free. Say yes to opportunities your future self will thank you for, and no to cages dressed as dreams. You already know what to do next. Track. Tidy. Invest. Grow. Repeat. This is Finance with Sanya, and I'm cheering for your freedom. If this message helped you see your money with new eyes, stay close. We'll keep learning together, keep laughing at the old myths, and keep building the kind of wealth that buys time, choices, and peace. Until next time, take control, invest smart, and never let yesterday's rules decide tomorrow's life.
This journey is built on strategy, consistency, and value. If my content helps you grow financially, there's a PayPal link in the description. It's not about the amount, it's the support that counts. Every bit fuels more value. Let's build wealth together.